Welcome back. Today, we're picking up right where we left off, with even more legendary machines that forever changed the face of motorsport. Let's get into it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more incredible automotive stories.
Designed by Steve Nichols and Gordon Murray, the McLaren MP4 isn't just a Formula One car, it's the most dominant F1 machine ever built, a car that crushed the competition and redefined what it meant to be unbeatable. The MP4 featured a low-profile, aerodynamic design that gave it a massive edge over its rivals. But the real magic lay in its 1.5-liter Honda turbocharged V6 engine RA168E, which produced around 650 horsepower in race trim and up to 1,200 horsepower in qualifying mode with unrestricted boost. The 1.5 turbocharged engines had been in F1 since 1977, but by the mid-1980s, they had become monsters. In qualifying trim, turbo engines were pushed beyond 1,400 horsepower, with boost pressures exceeding 7 bar, so extreme that they often blew up after a single lap. FIA saw this power war as dangerous and unsustainable, leading to a series of rule changes. 1987, boost limited to 4.0 bar. 1988, boost further reduced to 2.5 bar, fuel limited to 150 liters, down from 195 L. 1989, turbo engines banned, replaced by 3.5 L naturally aspirated engines. These restrictions were designed to end the turbo era, but Honda found a way to turn the limitations into an advantage. The ultimate turbo engine. Honda's RA168E V6 Turbo was a technological marvel. Despite the strict fuel limits and boost restrictions, Honda engineers developed an ultra-efficient and highly reliable engine that outclassed every rival. Key specs: 1.5-liter V6 Turbo, 2.5 bar boost pressure, 650 horsepower, 900 horsepower, superior fuel efficiency, crucial for the reduced 150L fuel limit. Unmatched reliability, essential for McLaren's consistent dominance. Honda's brilliance wasn't just in raw power, it was in making the most out of limited resources. The fuel efficiency of the RA168E allowed Senna and Prost to push harder for longer, while competitors struggled to balance speed and fuel consumption. McLaren paired this technological masterpiece with two of the greatest drivers in F1 history. The result, a level of domination never seen before. In the 1988 season, the MP4 won 15 out of 16 races, securing an incredible 94% win rate, a record that still stands today. Senna and Prost finished first and second in the championship, with Senna claiming his first world title in legendary fashion. What made the MP4 so legendary wasn't just its performance, but how it revolutionized the sport. It was one of the first F1 cars designed with a low-slung, ultra-efficient aerodynamic philosophy, maximizing ground effect and straight-line speed while maintaining incredible balance in the corners. It also marked the peak of the turbo era, as F1 banned turbocharged engines after 1988, making the MP4 the last great turbo-powered F1 champion of its time. Beyond the stats, the MP4 is remembered for one of the greatest rivalries in motorsport history: Senna versus Prost. Their battles on and off the track made headlines, and their contrasting styles only added to the drama. Senna's fearless aggression and Prost's calculated precision made every race a spectacle. The McLaren MP4 is legendary because it was more than just a car, it was a symbol of perfection. It showcased flawless engineering, groundbreaking aerodynamics, and an unbeatable driver lineup. Even decades later, its unmatched dominance and the stories surrounding it make it one of the most revered machines in racing history.
Porsche 956. Few race cars have dominated their era like the Porsche 956. Built for the newly introduced Group C regulations, this lightweight, ground-effect monster was designed to maximize downforce and fuel efficiency, becoming one of the most successful endurance racers ever. Porsche developed the 956 in response to FIA's Group C rules, which emphasized fuel efficiency over outright power. This led to the creation of Porsche's first aluminum monocoque chassis, significantly reducing weight and improving aerodynamics. Launched in 1982, the 956 was powered by a 2.65-liter flat-six turbocharged engine, producing around 620 horsepower. But its real magic wasn't just in the power. It was in the revolutionary ground effect aerodynamics. By utilizing a full underbody Venturi system, it created immense downforce, allowing it to corner at extreme speeds while maintaining stability. It was one of the first race cars to fully exploit this technology, making it nearly untouchable on long straights and tight corners alike. A key innovation tested on the 956 was Porsche's dual-clutch (PDK) transmission, which decades later became a staple in road-going Porsches. Developed in Germany, the 956 made history at Le Mans, clinching victories in 1982, 83, and 84, securing its place as one of the greatest endurance racers of all time. In its first-ever attempt at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, it not only won but locked out the entire podium, finishing 1-2-3, an unheard-of achievement. But that was just the beginning. The Porsche 956 set a Nürburgring Nordschleife lap record of 6 minutes and 11.13 seconds in 1983, a record that stood for 35 years, a testament to its raw speed and superior aerodynamics. The car also dominated the World Sports Car Championship, securing multiple titles and proving its superiority against all competitors. The 956 didn't just win races, it crushed the competition, setting new standards in endurance racing. It was one of the most successful sports prototypes ever built, with private teams continuing to race and win with it well into the late 80s. What makes the Porsche 956 legendary isn't just its dominance, but its lasting influence on motorsport. It paved the way for modern prototype racing, with many of its innovations still used in race cars today. It was a perfect blend of speed, reliability, and groundbreaking aerodynamics, a machine that defined an era of endurance racing. Dodge Charger Daytona. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, NASCAR saw the rise of some of the most extreme, aerodynamically advanced stock cars ever built. These cars, later nicknamed the Aero Warriors, pushed speed and technology to new heights, forcing NASCAR to rewrite the rulebook to ban them. But who were the Aero Warriors? The 5 famous Aero cars that defined this era were 1969 Ford Torino Talladega, 1969 and 1970 Mercury Cyclone Spoiler 2, 1969 Dodge Charger 500, 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona, 1970 Plymouth Superbird. Each of these cars was designed with one goal in mind: to dominate NASCAR's superspeedways like Daytona and Talladega. They introduced streamlined bodywork, extended noses, and massive rear wings to reduce drag and increase downforce, allowing for record-breaking speeds. Today, we're talking about the miraculous Daytona. The Dodge Charger Daytona is nothing short of an American motorsport icon, a car that redefined NASCAR and forever changed the perception of aerodynamics in stock car racing. Built in 1969 as a direct response to the fierce competition in NASCAR, the Daytona was designed with one goal in mind: dominate the high-speed oval tracks. At its heart was a monstrous 7-liter 4.26 Hemi V8, churning out 425 horsepower. But raw power wasn't the only trick up its sleeve. Dodge engineers knew that speed wasn't just about horsepower, it was about aerodynamics. The Dodge Charger Daytona was the first NASCAR racer to be specifically designed in a wind tunnel. That's why they gave the Daytona a massive pointed nose cone, designed to cut through the air, and a towering 23-inch rear wing, which increased stability at high speeds. These radical changes made the Daytona look unlike anything else on the track, and they worked brilliantly. In 1970, the Charger Daytona became the first car to break the 200 miles per hour barrier on a closed circuit, with Buddy Baker reaching 200.447 miles per hour at Talladega. The Daytona wasn't just fast, it was dominant, winning 20 races and becoming a nightmare for its competition. Its impact was so profound that NASCAR banned extreme aerodynamic modifications shortly after, making the Daytona and its sibling, the Plymouth Superbird, the last of their kind. By 1971, NASCAR officials were desperate to slow down the winged warriors. Their superior speed was unmatched, and traditional stock cars simply couldn't keep up. Fearing safety risks, NASCAR imposed restrictive rules. Winged cars were limited to a tiny 305 cubic inch engine, while non-aero cars could run 426 plus cubic inches. By 1972, aero cars were completely outlawed from top-tier NASCAR racing. The ban effectively killed the Aero War era, but the legend of the Aero Warriors lived on, making them some of the most iconic and valuable muscle cars ever built. The Charger Daytona is legendary not just for its on-track dominance, but for what it represents: a time when engineers pushed the boundaries of speed without restrictions, and when muscle cars weren't just built for the streets, but for the absolute limits of racing performance. Even today, the Daytona's legacy is celebrated in modern muscle cars, proving that its influence is still felt more than 50 years later.
The Godzilla. The R32 GT-R is a motorsport legend, a car that dominated the Group A racing era and cemented its place in history as one of the most dominant touring cars ever built. This beast was powered by the legendary RB26 DTT, a 2.6-liter twin-turbocharged inline-six engine producing around 543 horsepower in race trim. Developed in Japan by Nissan, the R32 Skyline GT-R was years ahead of its time, boasting advanced technology that gave it an undeniable edge over the competition. What truly made the Calsonic GT-R a force to be reckoned with was its revolutionary Atessa ETS all-wheel drive system, which distributed power dynamically between the front and rear wheels, ensuring maximum grip even in high-speed corners. Paired with Superhyca's four-wheel steering, the car had unmatched handling, allowing it to carve through circuits with precision that other manufacturers simply couldn't match. Its dominance was absolute. The Calsonic GT-R won every single race it entered in the All-Japan Touring Car Championship from 1990 to 1993, earning the nickname Godzilla from the Australian media for its monstrous performance on track. It also famously conquered the 1991 SPA 24 Hours, proving its endurance capabilities on the world stage. Beyond just raw performance, the Calsonic R32 GT-R changed the perception of what a Japanese performance car could achieve. It showcased how cutting-edge engineering, technology, and reliability could dethrone established European powerhouses in motorsport. Even decades later, the influence of the R32 GT-R lives on, shaping modern high-performance cars and securing its status as one of the most legendary race cars ever built.
Audi Sport Quattro. The Audi Sport Quattro wasn't just a rally car. It was a game changer, a machine that reshaped the future of motorsport with its groundbreaking technology. Built to dominate the infamous Group B rally era, this German-engineered beast was powered by a 2.1-liter inline-5 turbocharged engine, delivering around 450 horsepower. But raw power wasn't its only weapon. Its Quattro all-wheel drive system revolutionized rally racing, proving that all-wheel drive was the key to conquering dirt, gravel, snow, and tarmac alike. Debuting in the 1984 World Rally Championship, the Sport Quattro instantly made an impact. Audi had already shaken up the rally world with the original Quattro, but this version was shorter, lighter, and more powerful, designed specifically to take the fight to aggressive rear-wheel drive competitors. With rally legends like Stig Blomqvist and Walter Röhrl behind the wheel, the Sport Quattro helped Audi secure the 1984 WRC manufacturer's title and multiple race victories. But its legendary status goes beyond trophies. The Audi Sport Quattro represented the pinnacle of Group B rallying, an era known for brutally fast cars, extreme danger, and fearless drivers. With carbon Kevlar body panels, a lightweight chassis, and an advanced turbo system, it was one of the most sophisticated rally cars of its time. Its aggressive flared fenders and massive rear wing gave it an unmistakable presence, making it one of the most iconic rally cars ever built. However, Group B's insane speeds and lack of safety regulations led to tragic accidents, and the FIA banned the category in 1986, cutting short the Sport Quattro's competitive career. Despite this, its influence was permanent. Audi proved that all-wheel drive wasn't just viable in rally racing, it was the future. Today, almost every modern performance car owes something to the Sport Quattro's success. The Audi Sport Quattro remains a legend not just for its racing dominance, but for the revolution it started. It took a concept, all-wheel drive and high-performance racing, and made it unstoppable. Even decades later, it stands as a symbol of innovation, raw power, and the most thrilling era in rally history. And there you have it. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your pick for the greatest race car of all time? Drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more incredible automotive stories. See you in the next video.